Hey, it's Patricia Dacre, and I am coming live tonight, or else I'm trying to. I should have put it that way. This has been quite the adventure trying to get this to work. So, very apropos for my topic tonight, and I'll get to that in a minute. But man, my keyboard went dead, and then my computer was going typing backwards, whatever that means. And I had a glitch on my website. Just been one of those days. When I got up this morning, it was 66 degrees, and I went to yoga, and it was fabulous. And I walked out, and by the time I drove from the yoga studio to get gas, it dropped like 20 degrees. It was freezing cold. So we're in the 30s now, and this day has just gotten weirder. So today is Monday, the 11th, 11/11. And I'm continuing my lives and my blog topics on National Diabetes Awareness Month. And so for this month, I'm just sharing stories about my experience that led me to develop my 5 core competencies for my coaching practice that I think are really game changers and important for living well with diabetes. So first, we're going to talk about Veterans Day. So thanks to all who have served. I think it's a huge privilege and honor. I'm very pro-American and love the fact that we live in a place where we can vote and talk and disagree and try new things and start businesses and become a diabetes coach and do things that are crazy and off the wall. And we have that opportunity. So to all those who have served and in the past or are still serving, thank you so much. You are honored and appreciated. And a little shout out to my dad. He was in the Korean War in the Army many years ago. So okay, back to National Diabetes Awareness Month. So this is week 2 for us. A lot of activities going on. So this week, 11/14, November 14th is World Diabetes Day. So this actually is bigger than the United States. It's going on around the world. So pretty cool, huh? And there's a lot of people that are just talking about what's going on in the world and bringing awareness to, I think, really what it's like to live with diabetes. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. One other event, and I'll recap a little bit at the end, but this Saturday I am walking for JDRF, the One Walk in Dallas, to raise money, and I've set a goal of $5,000 and I'm halfway there. So thank you to everybody who has supported me. I'm so thrilled, and I'm hoping it's warmer than it is right now on Saturday, or it's going to be a cold walk. So okay, so I'm hopping back on to my 5 pillars and why I talk about those. So last week I talked about education, which I don't think is that much of a shocker, that we have to understand diabetes and the illness so we can manage it, understand it, work with it, roll with the punches. So I'm going to jump into the next one, which is the opposite for me. It was the hardest one, and I did not see it coming. I had no idea. But that is the emotional toil of living with a chronic illness. So again, I've mentioned this several times, but as a nurse, I knew all the clinical stuff, so I should have been able to do it, right? Not so much. It's not that easy. And so as I continue to try and do better and better, I failed continuously. There is no perfection in diabetes, and I expected perfection. And so my expectations were that I should be able to do it. The numbers would be good. It would be easy because I was educated. Not so much, right? So there was frustration with doctors, with insurance, with the blood sugars not always being perfect. And every bad blood sugar just meant I was bad and I felt bad. I was very disappointed in myself. I was disappointed that I was making other people uncomfortable, right? That people were worried about me, and you'd see this look on their face, and it just makes you feel horrible when people are pitying you or feeling sorry for you or not sure how to help or angry or so many different emotions that you may cause just because of what happened to you, and it's really no fault of your own. And I found after a while I got to the point where I was just angry and mad, and I hated myself and I hated diabetes, and I was in a big pity party. On top of that, I was scared all the time because I didn't know what it's going to do. And so those emotions I really didn't think were valid. I was like, I should be able to do this. I should be okay. And so I stuffed and put the smiley face on and acted like things were okay. And guess what? It doesn't get better. It doesn't. eats at you from the inside out. And so eventually, something had to give. You had to do something differently. And what I found was that my go-to coping strategy was avoidance. So if things are bad, if things are uncomfortable, bad topics, I'm going to stay away from that, right? And that's what I did with diabetes. I just tried to act like it wasn't there and like it was fine. And that wasn't really the best option. So what I've learned over the time, I guess the first thing that I'll tell you, I'll give you some tips. So what I did is I came up with like 4 or 5 tips, things that I did that I think are helpful. And so first of all, more than anything, you have to give yourself permission to feel bad or to feel these things. It's hard. It really, really is hard. And it's a struggle. And some days you're horrible. And some days you're tired. And some days it's freezing cold outside and your computer doesn't work. And your blood's like, I've been up since 5 because my blood sugar was kind of low this morning and woke me up. And so it's, I'm on 28 years every day of this. And so you can either let it get to you or you can choose to say, you know what? Today is okay. I'm going to be frustrated because this stuff is really bugging me. And I can tell somebody that. I can share it. It can be truthful and honest versus pretending. It's when you get out of sync that it really starts to feel bad. So what I would encourage you to do is just be honest. And if you're feeling it, just feel it. Number 2 is when we're talking about feelings fade. They're not permanent, right? So you can feel really happy and you stub your toe and then you're really mad and then you win the lottery and you're really happy. And, it's just always something different and it's very situational. And so when you're having feelings with diabetes, frustration, sadness, fear, anger, any of it, it's fleeting. It will pass. And the easiest way to make it pass, right, is to acknowledge it and kind of work through it and figure out what lesson it's trying to teach you. I think another thing when you think about feelings is it's inside, it's a feeling, but it's not you. So you are the person, just like you're the person that's listening to my voice, you're the person looking at the screen, you're the person feeling your sweater or your clothing. They're not you, you're just feeling them and noticing them. Same way with your feelings. You're not anger, you're not fear, you're a person who has fear. You're a person who is frustrated, you're a person who is sad. So it's not you, right? So feelings are fleeting, they pass, and they are not you. They're just something you feel. And when you notice that, it creates distance. So if I'm here and feelings are there and I'm not feeling, then I can notice them and I can notice what they're doing and why they're there and maybe how they got to be there. And there's something about that separation and giving them a name. So instead of feeling bad, so I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. Frustrated was the one I didn't have a name for. I just hated it. And when I found out it was frustration, then I'm like, oh, well, of course I'm frustrated, right? It made sense. And that's what we try to do. We try to make sense of all that in our head. So you can get that distance. You notice it's not you. You separate. And when you get away from it, you can choose to let it go. Like, I see you. I know you're frustrated. I'm feeling it right now. And then I'm done. I'm gonna let it go. And that applies to all of the feelings except for one. And I'm gonna share this last point with you. And this is probably harder than most, but it's worth your time and effort. So the one feeling that you should not feel is shame. And if you can try to let go of that one, you did nothing wrong, right? Diabetes is not anything anybody wishes upon anyone. It's nothing we want. We didn't do anything, whether you're type 1, type 2, type anything. Nobody asked for this. Nobody really can control what's going on with your hormones inside your body at a cellular level with willpower. I mean, if I could just wish it away, I would. But it just happened, and it just is. And to feel shame or neglect or bad about yourself, that's one I would really, really write it on a piece of paper, go burn it, toss it in the wind, get rid of that shame because you did nothing wrong. And when you can let go of that one, things get a little lighter, and then you can kind of start working towards getting some distance, noticing, forgiving yourself, understanding why you're angry. But it's very, very important to understand that you do have emotions and they're valid. And it's hard. It just really, some days it's hard. And some days it's great. The other emotion, if you're not going to do shame, and I encourage you not to, do gratitude. Do gratitude that we have medicine, that we can check our blood sugar, that we live in a place and a time where we're still able to live, because it wasn't so long ago, none of us would be here talking. And that fact every day always gives me hope and encouragement and just thankfulness that I'm still here with my kids, with my family, doing great work, experiencing life. And so choose which things you're going to hang on to and let go of those that don't serve you. But give yourself permission to have any of them at any time, except for shame. Don't do that one. Okay, that is my topic. That's emotions. There's so much more to it. That's just a brief overview. In my coursework that's coming up, if you're interested in doing any of my online home coaching, there are videos and a workbook and interactive information that help you dig into some of these concepts, peel them apart for yourself, unpack them, see what's in there, and see if you can understand a little bit more about why you feel the way you do. And once you start understanding it, it kind of tends to go away. So I'll be having more information about that. Lastly, I still would love your support for my walk this Saturday. I'm going to put links below everything. So if you'd like to donate or support my cause, I would appreciate it very, very much. And go out and everybody wear blue on the 14th. So that's World Diabetes Day, and we need to wear blue just to stand up and show up. So, okay, this is Patricia. I'm going to sign off. Stay warm if you're in the Dallas. Stay warm wherever you are. I think it's snowing all over the place. So winter's here. So take care and go be well. Bye.